I think we good. I think we good. Yeah. 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 What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? What's great? Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Can the Brothers Get a Rap podcast. I'm your host, Ashley Lovechild. I'm joined by my co-host, my brother from another mother blood. Couldn't make us any closer. One of the best photographers in the world, my brother Santana. Say something to the people.
What's good? What's good? What's good? Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Y'all could have been anywhere else, but you're here with us tonight. And for that, we thank you. And we got a jam-packed show as always, and we're gonna get right into it. You heard?
Again, y'all, thank y'all for tapping in each and every Sunday, every Thursday, 10:30. Can the Brothers Get a Rap podcast? Again, thank you, thank you, thank you. We're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. We're on 11,000 subs right now, a little over 11,000 subs right now. So continue to like, subscribe, share, tell a friend, watch those rewatches, leave comments. Just continue with your growing support. There's also memberships in the page as well. Tap into the memberships, different access. So again, thank y'all for that. This show was brought to you. The presenting sponsor is Button Snaps, button-snaps.com. Make sure you go get the finest of movies, of original content, and classic movies, documentaries, and TV shows. First segment of the night, y'all. Y'all already know. Y'all already know. Popular opinions. Again, y'all. These are not our questions. These are the world questions. So stick to the answers in the questions, y'all. This segment is brought to you by OUV Records, where the label model is create, document, and inspire. Go to at OUV Records right now on Instagram. Stay in tune to the latest music and merchandise. All right, y'all. Again, popular opinions, popular opinions. Again, these are the world's questions. I gotta stress this. These are the world questions. These are not our questions. So stick to the answers in the questions. And before we get started, let me shout out to some of our day ones in the building, some of our badge holders already in the building. Shout out to Lisa in the building. Shout out to Culture Talk in the building. Shout out to Winter in the building. Shout out to King Prince in the building. Appreciate y'all tapping in as always. All right, man, let's officially get this thing started. You ready, bro? Pause. Whoa, that sounds crazy. Whoa, whoa, pause. All right, first question of the night. What will take you further in life? What will take you further in life? Number one, your personality, what people see. Number two, your financial status. Number three, your character, morals, and principles. Number four, your connection, who you know. Well, your connection, so who you know. Again, let us know what y'all think in the chat. Shout out to Rowan Jack in the building. Shout out to Rowan Jack in the building. One of our other day ones. One of our badge holders, man. Appreciate you tapping in, man.
What were the choices again?
Yeah. So number one, again, y'all, the question is, what will take you further in life? Number one, your personality, what people see. Number two, financial status. Number three, your character, morals, principles. And number four, your connections and who you know. Let us know what y'all think in the chat.
Oh, what should be morals, principles, and all that. But honestly, in this world, it's the connections.
The connections. Okay. Why you
That's gonna take you further because if you're trying to get to a certain level and a certain stratosphere or a certain place that you see yourself, then you're gonna go after those specific connections that's gonna get you there. Or
Mhm.
if you already have them, then you know what I'm saying you're there already. But getting the connections to get to where you need to be, I think is the most important. Was for now, yeah. Where we at in life.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. Like I said the same thing myself. Like me personally, automatically, I'm very character, morality, principle based type of person. My personality is very aggressive and a bit abrasive, but it's because of my character, my morality, and my principles. But I kind of also took on what I need to go further also. So I said the same thing as you. It's not the finances that's necessarily needed, because finances, for those who don't know, money is not real. It's a tool. It's a tool that you can use that could do certain things that's needed to be done. But money is not a real thing, meaning that you can have a whole bunch of money today, you can have no money tomorrow, and vice versa. So it's a tool on how you use it, and to, that's a whole nother conversation that we had somewhat previously before. Um, your personality and what people see. Yeah, it has a factor. I've seen some people that went with number one. It's a factor. Um, but I agree with you. Your connections and who you know is everything, because you've seen people who have money don't have money. You see people with great personalities or shitty personalities that are able to progress, and that's mainly because of the connections and the people that they surround themselves with. So I'm agreeing with you. That's the choice that I had as well. Your connections and who you know will take you much further in life than anything else. So I said that. My bro said that. The rest of the world at 39% went with your character, morals, and principles. What do you think about that?
It's just as I suspected, because we're in the time frame where we don't have characters, morals, and principles. Because at the end of the day, you're supposed to already have that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So
Yeah,
that's
right.
why I picked connections. Because you, as a person, if you're going to do good, you're going to have characters, morals, and principles off rip. But
Right.
because we live in a society where we don't have that, obviously you need that first. So I'm
Yeah.
glad that society understands that a lot of people don't have it, and they need to work on that first before they can get on the finances, and then they can get on the connections later. So that's good to see that they know they don't got it and they need to work
Right.
on it. What's
Right.
up?
Right. I said, like, I had this, like I said, I had the same vantage point as you. It's like, yo, I already got what I need. I need the more connections to, go to the next level of what that looks like, or whatever that's supposed to be. So I said, I agree with you word for word. Uh Roman Jack is stupid. Tell that to Epstein. You stupid.
Yeah,
All right.
none of his people had no morals, or you know what I'm saying, values and principles. They shit was in the tank. That's why they all, you know what I'm saying, vibe together. You know what I'm saying? So you can't even tell that to Epstein, because him and his people then bop that way. So you just talking to a brick wall at that point.
Just a whole nother type of out inhuman type of thought process. It's best to put that.
I, no type of feelings, no type of emotional connections towards any type of human being at all. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, facts. That's a fact. I agree. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next popular opinion question. And again, y'all, these are not our questions. These are the world's questions. So stick to the answers in the questions. All right. Best defensive back on this list. Best defensive back on this list. Number one, Champ Bailey. Number two, Charles Woodson. Number three, Ashanti Samuels. Number four, Darrell Reeves. Let us know what y'all think in the chat.
It's a tough. Champ Bailey, Darrell Reeves, Charles Woodson. Oof, man, it's a Sante Samuel. Damn, it's a tough list. Oh man. Mm, I don't. Damn, this is tough, man.
Yeah, yeah. This is hard body right here. Pause.
Um,
Some
I'm
people
gonna have
out.
to go with Charles Woodson.
Charles Woodson.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Charles Woodson, because it's a tough list. 'Cause all these cats tackling, solo tackling is up. Their presence on the field was definitely top tier. I'm only just gonna give it to Charles Woodson, only because his tackling premise was just a little bit just above Champ.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else was everybody else's tackling ability was there, but I just feel in this list, Charles Woodson tackled a lot more ferociously than everybody else.
Yeah,
On this,
you know why that is though. You know what I'm saying? What college did he go to?
he went to Michigan. You know what
Oh,
I'm saying?
I'm just putting that out there.
When them Ann Arbor winds hit, you know what I'm saying? You better be ready.
You know what I'm saying? And we got another top 10, top 5 cornerback going into the NFL this year. Shout out to Will Johnson. So, I'm just saying we breed them like that. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? So, shout out to Charles Woodson on that. But on this list, and I think the reason why I don't want to even say the reason why, but all these guys are great cornerbacks. All these guys. Um, I wanna go with Champ Bailey because his coverage was crazy. He blanket dudes. Speed. I'm thinking him in any type of era, and this dude can go. But you bring up a very important factor with Charles Woodson. Not only did he play corner, he also played safety. He gonna attack very ferociously. In his younger heyday, he gonna cover very ferociously. And his impact on the field is crazy. Darrell Revis, Revis Island is crazy. Like the
He was top tier finesse player. We just gonna call it what it is. Very finesse player. No tackling. Like niggas ain't trying to tackle. We gonna be finesse on the field. You know what I'm saying? The finesse technique gonna be top tier. You know what I'm saying? But
crazy,
when we gotta tackle, we gonna tackle. But you know what I'm saying? You looking for me to finesse out there, not tackle. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't coming to camp, baby.
Nah, I ain't come to tackle, baby. I came to cover. That's it. You know what I'm saying?
Pay me my money so I could cover, baby. You know what I'm saying? But I will say, out of everybody here, Darrell Revis probably had the most impressive season that anybody had here as far as coverage. The things that he was able to do against certain guys, even though I don't want to put asterisk next to it, but he put a lot of those top tier, guys who are going to be in a Hall of Fame on that island. You know what I'm saying? Like Megatron got caught on that island. Ocho Cinco got caught on that island. I think twice that year. I believe. I can't think of the kid, the receiver from the Atlanta Falcons, Julio Jones. I think was caught on that island. A very old To. Bill's To don't hit the same, but he's still a Hall of Famer, but his Bills To is not the same. No diss. It's just not the same. You know what I'm saying? And he caught a couple other, top level guys. So that right there was very impressive. But we 2 for 2 tonight, bro. Overall, I gotta go with Charles Woodson. Overall. Because again, not just his coverage ability, but the fact that he could tackle and he's more of a leader on the field. He's the dictator on the field. I remember when he came to the Raiders, he basically was changing the team, not the defense, the team. People forget a young Charles Woodson get on punt return, that thing going to the crib. Like he good for 1 or 2 of those, just to let y'all know. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going with Charles Woodson. My bro went with Charles Woodson. In the chat, I'm seeing Darrell Revis in the chat. The rest of the world at 35% went with Champ Billy. What do you think about that?
Like I said, I'm not mad at this list at all. Like any one of these is top tier, great players, and you're gonna have a hell of a season if you have them on your team. So either option was gonna be top tier anyway.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And even Asante Samuel was a really good corner. He was really solid corner. He had some really great years. A difference maker. Uh, but I seen him recently go at the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? Saying that, he didn't care that prime time. He felt like prime time being the best cornerback of all time is like like fool's gold. Like basically that's the narrative of the media trying to make Deion Sanders the best corner of all time, and he feel like he had better seasons than Coach Prime. I don't know if you heard about that, but it was.
No, I didn't hear about that. I gotta look into that.
Yeah, it was crazy talk. It was crazy talk. He was speaking a bit out of pocket. Like that's Asante Samuel's a great player, man, great player. But he just said some things that didn't make sense. Like he was like, "Yeah, I'm from Fort Lauderdale. We don't care about none of that." I know Fort Lauderdale people. They care about sense. What he said was not sensible, wasn't logical. Fort Lauderdale people gonna go at you if you the best player or best or whatever that you do. They gonna go at you and be like, "Yo, we're gonna figure it out right here." That's a fact. But to say that Fort Lauderdale people don't give props what props is due, yeah, bro, you alone on that one. And I live in Florida. I'm not from Florida, but I live in Florida, and I've been here long enough to see how the people move and how they think. And Florida people, they show love. For Lauderdale people, they show love. So to say that, it kind of sounds a bit of haterish, but again, shout out, God bless you. But Coach Prom is nuno uno, baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you gotta see the rest of that. That conversation got crazy. So all right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. Next hot topic. Our next popular opinion question. Whose whose storyline is more interesting? Whose storyline is more interesting? Number one, Spider-Man. Number two, the Hulk. Number three, Superman. Number four, Batman. Tell us what you think in the chat. I said Batman with wild enthusiasm. Let me chill. Batman.
Let's see. Well,
All these storylines, this top tier. The only storyline I don't like really is when they went from the Hulk to the She-Hulk, and her joint was banana trash pudding. Like that was like probably the worst series I've ever seen with the She-Hulk. It was terrible. Acting was terrible. Didn't connect nothing. It was terrible. Storyline super trash.
I
Terry
think
Crews.
for me, the most interesting and also most tragic one is it has to be the Hulk, because the Hulk is the top tier. He has all the Bruce Banner has all the knowledge in the world, smartest scientist, but then gets into accidents, turns him into the Hulk, and he can never turn himself back into Bruce Banner again. And he's caught into this world where he want if you read the comics about the Hulk, like this shit is like sad because the nigga lives for a very long time. And
Mm-hmm.
he can't die because his human body is fused with the Hulk. So even though Bruce Banner is old, the Hulk is like young forever. So
It's still Hulk.
anytime he's like the Bruce Banner, the old Bruce Banner, anything happens where he's about to die, he turns into Hulk, and then that's it. So I think the Hulk's storyline is the more pivotal and more tragic story. I feel like it needs to be tapped in a little bit more deeper.
Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna hold you. Out of all the Hulks movie, I love the one with I believe was it the dude from American X, Ken Norton. Not Ken Norton. That's not. It's
No,
not.
Edward.
You said Ed Norton, right?
Mm-hmm.
That one was my favorite one. I'm not even gonna hold you. I'm not even gonna hold you. I like the way that whole storyline went. I love the way how the pacing of that movie. So Hulk storyline is fire. I just hate the She-Hulk intertwined. It was like, yo, it was just straight doodoo. Like I just can't stand the She-Hulk, me personally. Um ah, I'm gonna have to say I'm gonna have to say Spider-Man, bro. I'm gonna have to say Spider-Man. I like Spider-Man's get down pause. Like I like the fact he's from New York, he's from Queens. You know what I'm saying? He not a rumble tumble dude from the hood. He's just a regular kid that just like chicks. He want to be regular. He want to be a regular person. You know what I'm saying? With the monopoly money, and he's being raised by his aunt and all these things happen by being bit by a radioactive spider, and you know what I'm saying. And now he just go from one extreme to the next. So me personally, I like uh Spider-Man storylines the best. I think that's the most interesting, me personally. And he has dope villains. Low key, Spider-Man has dope villains that stand out and that's memorable, and which makes it easy for them to continue to bring out these Spider-Man movies. I said Spider-Man. My bro said the Hawk. In the chat, I seen Batman in the chat. Uh, at 47%, the rest of the world went with Batman. What do you think about that?
I mean, it's typical. It's like it's already run down. We don't got like 45 movies of Batman and stuff. It's like, all right, well, I get it. A rich billionaire that decides to put on a cape instead of like using his money to save the city. He want to beat niggas down. Like, all right, cool, I get it. That's cool. We
Mm,
gonna keep doing the same storyline again? Like, come on, how many Batman movies do we possibly need? Like, no, no disrespect. Majority of them is dope. I'm gonna go see them, but
yeah,
we need to switch it up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? There's
yeah,
mad other DC characters that we could tap into. You know what I'm saying? But I get it. You know what I'm saying? Batman is lit. I get it.
yeah. I agree. I agree because I, I don't want to sound like we're old. You know what I'm saying? But because we're older, we done seen the the best of Batman. We ain't see the OG Batman, you know what I'm saying, where Buddy was running around, you know what I'm saying, with the gray fit, you know what I'm saying? Like we didn't see that Batman. We seen all black leathery Batman come through with the whip, you know what I'm saying, holding it down. Gotham was different, real gritty type, you know. That's the type of Batman we grew up to. The other Batman, the TV show Batman, we don't know about that Batman. But the point of the matter is that it's been the same storylines over and over. So I agree. I'm glad that they are trying to progress the storyline in this new era. But Batman storyline is hella fire mainly because just like same thing I said about Spider-Man, it's the villains. If you got dope villains, the storyline in itself is gonna be fire. It's gonna be magic. So that's what I think why Batman had won this one in particular. I think people said them villains he has the most legendary villains out of everybody. So probably outside of like Dragon Ball Z, me personally. So, all right, y'all. Moving on to our next segment. Hollywood need to ask us. We came up with the segment because we just got better ideas than Hollywood. They have no creativity and they giving us movies that we didn't even ask for. Again, no creativity. We got better ideas for movies and TV show. You want to start this one off?
All right, you can start it off.
All right, so I want to see a movie. We need a DMX biopic. We need that like yesterday. We need a company to write a big old fat check for a DMX biopic, 3 hours long. I would even be grateful for a 10 episode biopic because actually you'll be able to show a little bit more. To be honest with you, so let's do the 10 episode, 45 minutes apiece biopic DMX, who is worthy of that much space in content. The way he got to music, the life that he had before the music, his upbringing, his the demons that he had followed, but most importantly, the message that he gave to the world and why people fell in love with the message and the music and the energy, the vibe. You've heard plenty of legendary rappers say that, or artists say that it was very hard to perform after DMX, to follow up DMX. Very hard, almost impossible. The fact that he's going to perform at 150, no shirt, not even a chain. He got a bike chain on his neck, or a dog collar, something like that. And he's going crazy. Tim's leather pants, dripping sweat, rapping. He gonna pray for you, and he gonna cry. He had the crowd in a whole ball of emotions. We need a DMX movie yesterday or a bio series. So I'm gonna say bio series. I need a 10 episode DMX bio series, and we need it yesterday. For somebody to direct this, I would love for Damon Dash to be a part of this project. Um, I would love for Ed Lover to be a part of this project, and of course, D and Y. I think I said their names right. D and Y. Please, I know I said D right. The owners and the founders of Rough Riders. I could be saying the second name wrong. If I am, I apologize because I do want to say this right. But they have to be a part of the project as well. Swiss Beats have to be a part of this project as well. His ex-wife has to be a part of this project as well. And we need a DMX 10 series bio series. Yeah.
Nice, nice, nice.
Yeah.
My Hollywood needs to ask us. I want to see a true spin-off series of Snowfall, but dealing with the Iran Contra scandal. So
Okay.
when the CIA agent dies, they could just pick it off with another CIA agent taking the guns into Nicaragua, getting the proceeds for that, and then sending the money over to Iran, which is a country we weren't even supposed to be doing business with, but they were doing business with, and that's what caused the Iran Contra scandal in the first place. So I want to see a series about where the money went and where the guns went, because they was
Hmm.
focusing so much on the drugs in our neighborhood. Yes, we needed that, but we also needed to also see what the all the conspiracies behind the guns and the drugs and why it was put in our community. So I want to see a series about the Iran Contra scandal, because that's what caused all the drugs and all the drugs to come into our to be flooded in our neighborhood, so it could funnel their secret wars overseas and their secret campaigns over there. So I want to see a series about that now.
All right. That'll be fire. That'll be fire. Anybody that you want to direct it or somebody that you has to be a part of the project?
First, I need to tap into the book from I forget the guy who came up with the Dark Alliance, the reporter that basically blew up the whole Iran Contra scandal and then they murdered him. I forget his name. Definitely tap into his book. The people who made Snowfall, so they was tapping into it a little bit, but in the first and second season, but then they just went straight to the drugs and the gangs, and I feel as though that was wasted potential. So I want them to really tap into the actual conspiracy, which is not conspiracy because we have all the CIA reports. So it really happened. So we want to tap into that, and you can even use some of the news reports of when the people found out that was happening. One of the CIA representatives went to LA and had a meeting with the community center, and that shit went all bad. So y'all can even use news reports from when the scandal broke out. Gary Webb, I think his name is the author. So you could use a lot of all the CIA reports that have been released. Use his book since he passed and all his other research findings to really get this story flushed out.
Fire, fire. And they doing the Snowfall spinoff with Wanda's character and Leon's character. And I wonder if they're gonna take I wonder what type of storylines that they're gonna take based on the spinoff. So that's already in production. So it's gonna be interesting moving forward because you would think those particular characters that they would take some sort of political strike for for their show because they was more like political figures as they was ascending in their own life where Wanda wanted to stay in Africa and become some sort of just a community type of person, and Leon had that leadership as well as a former gang member, community type of guy. So we may see that, so that's dope. That's dope. Real quick, the Rough Riders founders was YND, so I did have it right, and Siobhan Dean. The brothers and sister, it was the founders of Rough Riders. They have to be a part of that project, just to clarify. Shout out to some of our people already in the building. Shout out to CJ in the building. Shout out to some of our badge holders in the building. Biggs is a badge holder now. Shout out to Biggs. Shout out to Dope Boy in the building, man. Appreciate you tapping in. Rowan Jack, man. Again, thank you for your support. As always, it doesn't go unnoticed. We appreciate it a millionfold. Thank you. Black's Law's term for you. You gonna look it up
For next episode.
next episode? Okay. All right, y'all. Moving on. Uh, Y'all already know, man. This is one of y'all favorite segments of the show. Our must see movies, must hear music, must see watch TV shows, documentary, or stand ups. You want to start this one off?
So my movies, I wanted to do Academy Award winning movies. So these were movies that the Academy Awards felt as though they did their best and had Oscar worthy performances. And I felt as though that some of these movies should get highlights as well for their performances and best picture. So one movie from best Academy Award winning movies is Everything Everywhere All at Once. Came out in 2022. It got Best Picture, Best Director, Best Supporting Role, and then you gotta go see the movie if it holds up to you guys. So the stars of the movie were Michelle Yeoh, Kei Young Kwan, Stephanie Hugh, Michelle Lee Curtis, James Hong, Jenny Slate, Biff, crazy name, Biff Whiff,
That's
wow, Paulie Medell, Brian Lee, Wayman Lee, Sunita Mani, and Harry Shun Jr. So
that's
it's
his
about,
Hollywood,
huh?
that's his Hollywood name.
Yeah, you gotta be. You know what
That's
I'm saying?
that's Hollywood talk.
Hollywood talk. You heard? That's Hollywood names right there. So this movie's about this middle-aged family. She's this wife. She's in having a midlife crisis, and then she thinks her husband is also having a midlife crisis. And you gotta watch the rest of the movie to find out what happens. It's actually pretty good. I kind of liked it as well. Next on the list is The Arrival. Came out in 2016 and it only got award for best sound. So you gotta watch the movie to find out why it got best sound. Stars Jeremy Renner, Forrest Whitaker, Amy Adams, Michael Stuhlbarg, Sui May, Abigail Pernowski, Mark O'Brien, Jaden Malone, Julia Scarlett Dan, and Russell Yen. Is about this scientist who gets chosen to be the first person to interact with an alien presence. And you gotta watch the rest of the movie to find out what happened. Pretty interesting movie, and you will see why it got best sound. All right, last on my list is Mad Max Fury Road. Came out in 2015. It won Best Film for 2015, Best Film Editing, Best Makeup, Best Production, and 36 other more awards. So we ain't gonna go through all that. They just won a whole bunch of awards, and you gotta watch the movie to find out why they win all these awards. So it stars Tom Hardy, Charlize Theron, Nicholas Hoult, Hugh Case Bryan, Zoe Kravitz, Courtney Eaton, Riley Q, Abby Lee, Megan Gale, Nathan Jones. It's about a post-apocalyptic world where being on the road is basically your death sentence, and if you don't have a car, it's over for you. So you gotta watch this movie to find out what happens. All right. So my Academy Award-winning movies are Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, The Arrival, and Mad Max: Fury Road.
You said Mad Max came out in 2015, right?
Mm-hmm.
I see why they won every damn award. That year was trash for movies. I'm looking. I had to pull it up. If they won over 30 something awards, and I'm like, yo, ain't no way they won over 30 something awards when they release top tier movies every year. And I'm looking at the list. This is a whole bunch of ass hat. Like the best movie we got here, Legend was mid. Uh, what else we got here that was even no, Black Mass? It was mid because we had a version of Black Mass before that with what people don't realize with The Departed. What else? And Departed is way better than Black Mass. I don't care who has anything they want to say about movies. You cannot say that Dope. Dope was a big movie. That was coming of age, but it was an ass hat. Like compared to a dope coming of age movie, that shit is lower tier of coming of age movies. Like let's keep it a bean. It was new age, cool, but I'm looking at a whole bag of trash for 2015, and I see why they won all them. I mean, come on, Joe Dirt. I see why they won all them awards for 2015. I just got when you said 2015, I said nah all them damn awards. What came out that year? Ain't nothing come out. Ain't Jack come out. The
That's the
hateful
only good movie that came out that year. You know what I'm saying?
the hateful eight was I, but it was
It was I. It was
it was
I.
it was a touch above mid. You see what I'm saying? It was a touch above mid. I'm looking at everything. Not like come on, man. A whole bag of trash for 2015. Throw 2015 away. So all right, so cool. Now I understand why they won all them damn awards. All right, y'all. Moving on to my list. Y'all already know, man. I don't do a thing like my bro do, but I like to list movies that I don't think y'all know, but they was actually big movies. All right, so my first movie, directed by Mikel Solomon, came out in 1998. Stars Morgan Freeman, Kristen Slater, Minnie Driver, Edward Anner, and Betty White. This movie is called Hard Rain. Fire movie. Make sure y'all tap in. It's about a town that is riddled with rain. There's so much rain, it's going crazy. Hence the point, hard rain. And there's some guys in the town that's trying to come up, and you have to see the rest of the movie. I won't ruin it for y'all. I know y'all hate that when I do that, but I won't ruin it. So make sure y'all tap into Hard Rain. It's a great watch. Very entertaining. It has my favorite actor in there, Morgan Freeman. For those who don't believe me, yeah, Morgan Freeman is my favorite actor. I know he's old, but every time you see Morgan Freeman in any movie, even though he's still old, I've never seen Morgan Freeman probably past the youngest I probably see Morgan Freeman is probably like 50 something, and that's probably lean on me. So, but he always, you know what I'm saying? That's Principal Clark. You feel me?
Mhm.
So, my next must see movie, directed by Michael App. This movie came out in 1984. This stars Christopher Colett, Peter Willer, Tori Gear, Corey Haim, Sarah Jessica Parker, and Robert Downey Jr. This movie is called Firstborn. Fire. Fire. I fellas, watch this movie. I'm letting you know you will get triggered. I'm letting you know ahead of time you will get triggered. Keep your cool. Don't crash out. It's just a movie. It's just entertainment. But the storyline is very triggering. It's about, again, the firstborn, coming of age. He's the man of the household. Father leaves his mom, but the father's still a part of her life. Mom is getting a little bit desperate for attention because pops come through with the suit, takes the kids out. She get all dressed, and you have to see the rest of the movie. I won't ruin it for y'all, so make sure y'all tap in to see Firstborn. My last must-see movie came out in 1992, directed by Dick Wolf, legendary Dick Wolf, pause. Stars Brandon Fraser, Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Chris O'Donnell, Cole Hosley, Amy Lucan, Anthony Rapp, Randall Betinoff, and Anthony Lowry. This movie is called School Ties. This is about a young, great football player from a really tough neighborhood, gets the opportunity to go to a top tier high school, and this high school has connections to a great college, and you have to see the rest of the movie. It is a fire movie. It takes place back in the 50s, y'all. So there's some language that can be triggering as well, but it's still a great watch, and just tap into it. Again, my movies is Hard Rain, Firstborn, School Ties. You ever heard of any of these movies right there, bro?
Just Hard Rain.
Just
For
Hard Rain. Hard Rain is fire. But make sure y'all tap into, again, Hard Rain, Firstborn, and School Ties. Must see, y'all. These are must see. All right, y'all. Moving on to our must hear. Again, y'all know I tap in on a different type of vibration when it comes to the music. I'm giving y'all something that feel good, whether y'all real rap fans or real R&B fans. If you're a music fan in general for any era, I got what you need. All right, so my featured artist for this show, for this episode, is New Edition, the legendary New Edition. 3 songs y'all must have on your playlist by New Edition. Number 1, Is It Love? Number 2, You're Not That Kind of Girl. Number 3, Can You Stand the Rain? Again, y'all, a New Edition list is not a list without Can You Stand the Rain, You're Not That Kind of Girl, and If It Isn't Love. So make sure y'all tap into those songs, put them on your playlist. Again, shout out, uh, they go crazy in the chat. School Ties was fire, man. School Ties was fire. Bobby Brown, fire. Rowan Jack talked about 8 millimeters triggered. It is the 8 millimeter triggering. It's like borderline. It's very borderline. 8 millimeter. It's not as, but it's going. Firstborn is going to provoke some real emotions. Because I don't even want to tell y'all. Just watch the movie. I don't even want to tell y'all. Just watch the movie. But yes, New Edition is the feature artist, and make sure y'all tap into that music, fire songs, put those on your playlist. All right, moving on to our next segment, our classic shows, must see show, documentary, or stand. Start this one off.
Now the classic show for y'all. If you Saturday night in the early 90s, this was a classic show for you at 9 p.m. I'm talking about Xena Warrior Princess. Came out in 1995. 6 seasons. Stars Lucy Lawless, Renee O'Connor, Ted Raimi, Hudson Leland, Alexandra Tidings, Kevin Smith, Carl Urban, Adrian Wilkinson, Daniel Cormack, Bruce Campbell, Michael Hurst, and Charles Siebert. But classic 90s show. Xena Warrior Princess was a spinoff of Hercules. So you had Hercules at 8, then you had Xena at 9. It was just pure 90s action packed, ass kicking, you know what I'm saying? Just dudes flipping over head, bodies dropping over there. It was just pure 90s, excellent. And it was classic Greek shit. So you learned a little something and you saw some violence. So you couldn't go wrong with some Xena Warrior Princess. You know what I'm saying? So definitely tap into that. You know, Tubi got it because Tubi got everything. So if you want to see some classic 90s, real 90s shit, gotta tap into Xena Warrior Princess.
Yo, Xena Warrior Princess and Hercules is one of the funniest shows that's not trying to be funny because Greek
It
time.
was they was serious with they Joan, but it was so comical. I loved it. But they were serious actors, my nigga. You couldn't
Bro,
tell them no difference.
those shows are straight Hollywood. Like how you in Greek times, right? Everything's supposed to be made out of hay and rock. Mad tables all over the place. Just wild tables. You know what I'm saying? Flipping all over the place. You know what I'm saying? It's Hollywood.
Everybody always had a bar. You know what I'm saying? Yo, every town had a bar. Everybody just knew what was up. Just go at the bar. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get all the intel in the town. You heard?
How the cups made out of rock, but just mad tables all over the place. You know what I'm saying? Like make that make sense. You know what I mean? And Xena and Warrior Xena Princess, like yo, she was kind of sexy though. You know what I'm saying? But she was like a thick, big chick compared to the other like chicks, and she just burly, just flipping chicks over wild tables. Again, y'all, just mad wild tables in these Hollywood TV shows. This is real Hollywood. But fire show though. Fire show. We'll go see that. Must see that. All right, y'all. My classic must see TV show, documentary, or stand up. I have to go with the incomparable, the sensational, the show that birthed many careers, Def Comedy Jam. The host, Martin Lawrence. Martin Lawrence, where he had his superpowers, holding it down. It was taken over by Joe Torre because he was doing movies and he had the Martin show. It just got too much. And I think Martin would have stayed if they would have upped the bag a little bit, because now his bag then went to the next level at that time too. But they never found the same type of energy that Martin had to the show. They had good hosts. Joe Torre was a good host, but he wasn't Martin. Chris Rock was a decent host, but he wasn't Martin. Queen Latifah, so on and so forth. It was so much to the point where they had to have guest hosts because it didn't match the same energy and level that Martin took it to. But it birthed a lot of comedians, and these comedians are still around today, even though they're older. They're older now, but it's great to see these comedians when they was first coming out. A young Bernie Mac, a young Chris Tucker, a young Chris Rock, a young what was the DC? Not DC wasn't on that. I was thinking of DC Curry, a young Hamburger Jones. Like these comedians was hilarious. So make sure y'all tap into Def Comedy Jam, and of course, you can catch every episode on Tubi right now. So Tubi,
Tubi got it.
Tubi got it. So all right, y'all. Moving on. You got cologne for us?
Definitely got cologne for y'all. You already know the slogan. You look good, you feel good, you smell good, you're gonna do good. This fragrance this week is called the Maker. The fragrance is called Naked. Come on, son. You already know, self-explanatory. You caught the Maker, you already know what's gonna happen at the end of the night. She gonna be naked. So you definitely need to get this scent right here so you can have it on the tuck and y'all laid up at night, mission accomplished. So definitely tap into the Maker. The fragrance is called Naked.
Make sure y'all get right. Again, the whole goal is to get the girl. Smell good, feel good, get good. Get the girl. Shout out to Solo Slim. He said Warrior Princess was the truth. Yo,
Telling you, it was a good Saturday night, son, being a kid. You know what I'm saying?
it was a good time. Calissa was my boo thing. Kevin Sorbo, the baby. Yeah, that cologne is the baby maker. But yo, shout out to that show, man. It's a good old time, a lot of nostalgia. So shout out. All right, y'all already know what time it is. It's that time of the show, y'all. It's time to wrap. This segment is brought to you by Button Snaps, where you get the finest of movies, shows, documentaries for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. Again, that's button hyphenated sign snaps.com. Again, button hyphenated sign snaps.com. So make sure y'all tap in. First hot topic of the night. Three teens who are sisters who are 14, 15, and 16 chased their mom out the house with the knife, trying to kill her over not turning on the Wi-Fi. What do you think about that?
I mean, that's that boss bay. I got multiple businesses type of attitude. Like, yeah, but then the household ain't correct because there's no male figure there to create balance. It's just a whole bunch of women in the house. There's gonna be all kind of disorder. I can only imagine how filthy that house look.
That's wild work. Where's the dad? They asking that in the chat. Shout out to Roman Jack. They saying, "Where's the dad?"
There is no dad.
That's a lot of psychotic behavior in one home. That's
Just
four. That's four. The three teenage girls and the mom.
they're all in teenage years, so that means they, you know what I mean, in that time every month. And then we know when women are amongst each other for a long time, y'all, the cycles be the same or close to it. And then imagine that house around that time. Oh, hell no, son.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all want to blame everything on emotions. Nah, hell no. Nah. Seems like a scapegoat to me. So so y'all gonna blame this situation on emotion?
Mm-hmm.
Nah.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, the accountability must be met.
I know what it's like to have raised a teenage daughter, and in them teenage years, it gets ill. It things change, and you just like, what's going on? You know what I mean? So to have three around the same age, 14, 15, and 16, and there's a possibility some sexing could be going on at this age. Not trying to say that they are, but there's a possibility that they could be doing stuff. Obviously, and for the boys in their school, that creates a whole nother monster. So, I mean, freaking out for not turning on the Wi-Fi is crazy work. You don't need the Wi-Fi unless you're trying to get on the internet or you're trying to reach someone. So to get that crazy over the internet and for the mom not to rule her home with an iron fist is wild work. Like I'm just saying, like I've never heard nothing like this. You would think that whatever parent that's in the household, whether it's mom or dad, that the children will be more appreciative that their parent is there or one of their parents is there. But you didn't even hear that. They try to off this lady off with a damn knife. Wild work. Wild work. And it's,
Facts.
Santana called it. Screen addiction is bad too. Oh yeah, I got you. What grandpa asked. Now don't put the grandpa on me yet. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't ready for all that. I ain't ready for all that yet. I you know what I'm saying? Like nah. I'm 40. You know what I'm saying? I think it's super ghetto if I'm a 40-year-old grandpa. Like to me, that's just super ghetto. You know what I'm saying? 40, 50, cool. 40, nah. I'm not even done having children yet. So my daughter gonna have to wait for all that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. So, all right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. West Philly, West Philadelphia street renaming ceremony have honored Will Smith new street to Will Smith Way. What do you think about that?
I mean, it's about damn time. What took him so long to do that? Like, he been put up accolades and a whole bunch of records. Like, I don't understand why it took so long to do that, but I'm
Hmm.
glad they finally did. And shout out to Will Smith for that because he definitely deserved it. You know what I'm saying? He put in the work, definitely put in the blood, sweat, and tears, and it's well deserved.
How long has Will Smith been in the game?
40, been in the game a minute. I'm saying about 4 decades now.
He has a platinum album or a couple platinum albums, if I'm not mistaken, because his first album went platinum, and I would like to think the album that had Summertime on it wasn't on his first album. That album went platinum as well. So Will Smith has at least two, maybe three platinum albums. Been in the game 40 some years. Movies is ridiculous. Like the movie game is crazy. And I do this now. I'm with you, bro. About damn time. Y'all don't get no kudos for doing something y'all should have did two decades before. Y'all should have did this in the damn 90s or in the early 2000s. Like that's crazy to me. What he has done for himself and for his family is a reflection of Philly because that's his upbringing. That's where his roots is from. So it's crazy when a city take their time to celebrate you. It makes you kind of feel like, you know what I'm saying? Like like you really not a part of their culture. No matter what you do is not good enough if it waits to 2025 and this man has been out since the damn 80s. Am I bugging when I say that?
No.
So at the end of the day, I'm happy for him. I'm happy for him. But Philly, man, y'all got to do better when it comes to y'all legends. Because it seemed like y'all would be quicker to, show love to Meek Mill than for Will Smith. And I'm not necessarily trying to compare the two, but Meek Mill has been doing it less longer than Will Smith. So I'm just saying, like, but shout out to Will Smith. He is more than well deserved. At this point, he should have a whole damn section named after him. As much more stuff that he's done. But shout out to Will Smith for getting that happen for him. Born and raised, yeah, yeah. They saying born and raised in the chat on the playground, spending most of my days. Yeah, man, legendary dude, man. All right, moving on to our next hot topic. NFL. Did you know that the NFL water boys make 60K a year? And what do you think about that?
I mean, if the NFL as a whole is making a couple of billion, I mean, yeah, why not give them 60K a year? Because they're not working a full year anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Very true. It's very true. So
So
that's 60 mil. What basically
for
5 months, 6 months?
and 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 then that's if you traveling with the team. Maybe you're a water boy only for home games. Maybe they got water boys for away games. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? But 60K for 18, and that's if your team goes to the playoffs, and then you know what I'm saying, Super Bowl. Like, that's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sign me up. You know what I'm saying? I mean, well, you want to be well refreshed. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. They said, "Can I get drafted as a water boy?"
Where you put your bid in, where you put your application in. You know what I'm saying? That's for that connection is for who you know. You know what I'm saying? That's not
Yeah,
somewhere you just put an application in and you apply and then you go for a tryout or they
yeah,
give you, you know what I'm saying, 90 days. You know what I'm saying? How?
yeah.
You just
They
it starts at the beginning of the season and it's done at the end of the season type shit.
they said known water boys. They said Larry Fitzgerald was a water boy when he was little. Uh, there was a couple coaches that are head coaches in the NFL that was actually water boys. Well, majority of the water boy positions are designated for grown men, and I believe in the NFL they do travel. So you get an apparel, you get to travel, go to different cities, hydrate the players, pause, and just be a part of the team. And if y'all go to the playoffs, you know what I'm saying? Where my ring at, dog? You know what I mean? Where mine's at? You know what I'm saying? I
And
can't.
then you got to really think about it. You probably only useful like especially when you during the winter months and then you playing teams that's outside so you ain't really like your job ain't you know what I'm saying
Right.
ain't you there but you really not there like you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying like you
Yeah.
there for a certain times when it's hot you play Miami in September and October or yeah for sure then after that it's like all right then you got November, December, and you going to Baltimore, then you're going to Green Bay. It's
Yeah.
like, nah, you know what I'm saying? That water is cold. We need warm water now in them
Yeah. Yeah.
states. So
Yeah. I mean,
you really not doing that much work for the pay you getting. You know what I'm saying?
right. Right. Yeah. I mean, because for college, the water boys travel, and in the NFL, the water boys travel as well. So that's kind of lit. I mean, to get 60,000 and excuse me, 60,000 up. So it's really from 60 to 80,000. 60 to 80,000. So 5, 6 months worth of work, get to travel. You know what I'm saying? You get the best seat in the house. Or the only thing you don't do is throw the water at the plate. You know what I'm saying? That's $50 million hands. You know what I'm saying? That they depend on that man to catch the ball. So you got to walk up to him, scoop the cup in his mouth, pause, and just squeeze, pause. You know what I'm saying? Make sure it's accurate. You don't want get Tom Brady on the side or you know what I'm saying or Pat Mahomes on the chin. You know what I'm saying? You got to get it accurately. You know I don't want to say the word, you know what I'm saying? Just get it accurately in his system. Pause. You know what I'm saying? So just do that. But that don't sound like a bad job. Um 60K is 60K, 80K is 80K. It's good money and you'll be more than fine. So shout out to the water boy. Water boy making you thirsty. Got my water right here. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. A man with the flashlight breaks into the home of a woman that he knows. The lady security camera caught him red-handed breaking into the home. Come to find out, she recognized him immediately. It was her pastor, Sergio Garada. Uh, Breaks into the home of Maria Kalana. This was her pastor that did this. She said that his behavior became more odd and erratic after her divorce. He's the pastor, or was the pastor, at the Thomas Road Baptist Church in Lynchton, Virginia. What do you think about that?
Very predatory behavior. So I'm glad able to get him up out of there because that could have, you know what I'm saying, went left. So there's a bunch of these people out here, you know what I'm saying? Just because y'all independent, y'all got your own bag, this, that, and the third, that don't mean nothing when there's somebody who's out there wanting to take something from you. So
Facts.
at the end of the day, you need protection. You can't just be out here. Your degrees ain't gonna save you. your your job definitely ain't gonna save you. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
definitely need to have protection. Self defense is very apparent in this day and age.
And to add on to the story as well, I have to add this because she had made mention of this. She said, he would do things like pop up out of nowhere and, bring groceries to the house and just to make sure that they were straight because he was doing it under the guise of being a pastor. Like, hey, I know you just got divorced. I picked up a couple things, what I'm saying? You and the kids might need a couple things, what I'm saying? Like, I'm around. So, he tried to play that angle, and that's what ended up happening. But ladies, again, like my bro said, you got to be careful who you're around. I covered it on shows prior about people who are imposters and knowing how to recognize a snake and people who just be around you because they looking for something. But a lot of women don't peep signs. Y'all just like, oh, he's a nice guy, or da da da. You have to peep signs, and it's so crazy when men get around other men. We peep it immediately. We realize behavior immediately. It's like, yo, that dude is weird. How long you knew him? He wants to get down with you. No, he's such a nice guy. He's always bringing groceries. He's always checking up on me. No, no, no. When men are truly genuinely interested, we move differently than how Buddy moving. He's moving like a creep. Trust me, he wants to bust your cheeks. No, you just being jealous, or you just being over paranoid. We know the signs. So, ladies, y'all got to do a better job on who you have around you and your children. This was their pastor. Breaks into their home while they was not there, even though they wasn't in the house. The fact that he thought he could pull it off. And as soon as he walked in the kitchen, he put the flashlight at the camera. The camera caught him, and he got up out of there. And then came back the next day, all on camera. Just crazy work, man. Crazy work. Again, shout out to Rowan Jack again, man. Ash, make a music video about the water boy. You stupid. You stupid. I do have a video though that is on the football field and we took over the whole stadium. I do have that, but I don't have one depicting the water boy. All right. Shout out again to Rowan Jack, man. Thank you again for your support, man. Do the solid, man. Every show. Appreciate you. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. LeBron James. I thought they were still in season, but he's on a media tour. LeBron James said recently in a recent interview on ESPN with Mr. McAfee. I think his name is Paul McAfee or Paul McAfee. He's a ex NFL player, kicker, but he does a great job with his show. Um, he said that he don't think that it was convenient that when he was the number one prospect, that Cleveland got the pick when he was drafted. What do you think about that?
What do you mean? What is he saying?
He's saying that he don't think it was like an organic thing. Like he don't think it was a coincidence that they had the number one pick. Because remember, in the NBA, they don't do how the NFL. The NFL is like, yo, if you trash, you get the first pick. It's all records based. But in the NBA, you could literally go to the playoffs and still end up with a fourth overall pick, fifth overall pick based on the lottery system, based on trades, that they made a trade prior to, and their lottery system shakes it up. So two teams got um, the same record, but it doesn't, it doesn't mean that they're going to get the first pick. Or a team could have a better record, and that better team still may get the first pick.
I mean, it's neither here nor there because it's like, it, as you trying to say, like it was a conspiracy that they went out their way to get him, or they made certain moves behind closed doors to make
Yeah,
sure that they was in their way to get him. Like, which one
yeah.
you saying?
Well,
So they made the moves that they wanted to make to get you in the first round. I don't understand. They gave you like $100 million. So what's the point? What's the point of him bringing this up? Like, you know what I'm saying? You got a big ass bag because it was Cleveland. What we talking about? You made history getting drafted by Cleveland. So you bringing this up now means what?
Mm-hmm.
And what's the point? for ratings for your man's on the show. All right, cool. Say some ridiculous stuff for ratings, but in the whole grand scheme of it, what are you trying to say? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's the whole point of it?
Hmm. Well, me personally, I've always said this because it's something that I noticed myself years ago, that the NBA is created off narratives, is not created off talent. Not to say that there's not talented players in the NBA. There's talent all over the place in the NBA, but it's not based on results. The NFL, you're trash, you get the first pick. Simple and plain. There's no lottery, there's no switcheroo, there's no draw for type of situation. They don't the NFL is not controlled by narratives because the NBA is what it is, because the players don't wear helmets. Their face card, their energy off the court, it controls the narrative more than anything else, and especially with basketball. That's why when guys get traded in the NBA, it's like, oh my God, that guy gets traded to here. Now, if tomorrow Saquon Barkley gets traded to the Chiefs, it would be a big deal based on the team. He's going to the Chiefs, right? But if tomorrow Kevin Durant gets traded to the Lakers, it's like, oh my God, Kevin Durant gets traded to the Lakers based on Kevin Durant and based on the fact that LeBron is already there, based on the fact that Luca is already there, all player narratives. So this is something that I said previous to that I it's not a coincidence that Cleveland had the first pick. It's not. They made the moves behind the scenes to make sure that they get you. So when they do the lottery, because the lottery is supposed to be a random draw. It's supposed to like how they do like the old school lottery. They call your number, and that number is associated to the team. When Cleveland got the first pick, it wasn't in coincidence. Like you was the number one player, you was not going to high school, and you're not the only player that they did that to. I've said it before. They did it to Kevin Garnett. They did it to Derrick Rose. These guys, when they was up for the draft, they did that for them as well. People forget Derrick Rose is from Chicago. He's from Chicago. Chicago get the first round pick. Derrick Rose went to Memphis. He didn't go to Chicago University. He didn't go to Illinois. He didn't go to Northwestern. He went to Memphis. I mean, Memphis is not super far, but it's not in Chicago. Chicago took the hometown kid. Same thing with Kevin Garnett. Kevin Garnett is from Chicago. He went to Minnesota. Illinois is the next state over to Minnesota or Indiana, I should say. They've been doing this. They've been doing this. So, yeah, of course, it's not a coincidence. The NBA is ran by narratives. And because of those narratives, behind the doors, who's ever willing to write the biggest check to control that narrative, to control that player, to control that paycheck, that's what's going to happen behind closed doors. And they make it seem like, oh my God, same thing. We just seen it this year with the Luca trade. They traded Luca for Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is a Hall of Fame player, hands down. He's still a great player. But you mean to tell me that was the best trade that they could get for Luca? Of course not. There would have been teams if they would have opened it up. That would have they would have the Lakers would have got a crazy overhaul. I mean, I'm sorry, the Lakers, the Dallas Mavericks would have got a crazy overhaul for Luca. But they only speak to one team and one team only. That's all narrative based. That's all player based. So yes, it's not a coincidence. And they've been doing this. Like I said, they also did it, in my opinion, to Derrick Rose, Kevin Garnett, DeAndre Ayton. People forget DeAndre Ayton went to the University of Arizona, and when Phoenix got the first pick, where did he go? So yeah, I'm with LeBron in the sense of yeah, it's not a coincidence. They make moves behind closed doors. Yeah, they do. And what? And what? You became and you benefited from that. Even though LeBron James is probably the most critiqued, probed, stupid superstar that we've ever had because he's done this since he was in high school, and we're in the age of social media. He's been harshly criticized throughout his career. I must say that, but he benefited from that as well. Because the moments when he stepped up to the plate and won championships and did all the great things, all his accolades, people go to bat for LeBron James. So he's benefited to the utmost playing in Cleveland in his hometown. So, all right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. Marvin Sapp, artist Marvin Sapp, Pastor Marvin Sapp, closes the doors in his church until the congregation gave $40,000 to the church that night. His math to add to this 40,000, he said, "There's 1,000 people in here. I need 1,000 people in here to give $20 a piece. Close the door in the church. Let's make this happen." What do you think about that?
If he was doing that for charity because a tornado wrecked a town
No.
and destroyed a family's house, and they needed a GoFundMe very fast, and he went out his way to talk to his congregation. Hey, we need 20,000. We're not leaving until we hit 20,000 because we need to give this money to a family, or we need to give this money to the charity that's going to help these family or this organization. I could understand that, but I know for a fact there's going 20,000, 40,000 that's going in his pocket. So I'm glad he did that. That's letting the society know that they don't care about hiding it no more.
Mm,
They don't care about being nice with words and picking and choosing words to make it seem good and seem a certain type of way. They're just flat out just give me the money now.
mm,
I need the money.
mm-hmm,
You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm,
So there's no back in the days it was like it was a time in the era when the church, you went to the church and you got some spiritual understanding and this, that, and the third. And then after a while, it got to a point where you see jokes about the pastor that comedians do. So there's satire that comedians do about pastors, and we talked about the movie "Don't Be a Menace" while drinking your juice in the hood. There was a satire about the pastor raping the community by asking about passing the plate over the collection plate. So we've had these satires over the years, but now it's to the point where it's not satire no more. It's real life. They out here. You have $1 million pastors at this point. What are you still going to church for? So
mm-hmm,
now they just like we're not gonna faithfully rob you. Now we just gonna outworldly do it. Now we're gonna lock the doors. I want my 40,000. We're not leaving till we hit that. Oh, we got 1,000 people online. We got 1,000 people here. All right, that's 20. That's $20 each person. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? But
mm-hmm,
y'all all there's 20,000. There's 1,000 people in there. They can't hold y'all, but y'all sitting there like I don't know what to do.
mm-hmm,
What you mean? Just walk up out of there.
mm-hmm.
But they already got your mind already. So now it's just we want the money now. That's it. So I'm glad it's done like that because y'all need to see that it was never about no faith. It was never about none of this. It was always about the money.
Do you think that because of that clip from the church, do you think it would hurt the church congregation as far as your membership? Because that is, a negative viewpoint, but some people have such strong faith regardless on who's standing on the pulpit.
Hey, faith is a hell of a drug, man.
Mm,
Faith is a hell of a drug that people use it and finesse. So those people sitting there, obviously, they did not get up in mass and walk out in such disrespect of how the pastor was doing them. Obviously, they sat there. So
mm,
there's no not you per se, but the people looking at the video and thinking that the people in the congregation should wake up. They long gone. Ain't
mhm,
no waking up for them. They ain't no saving them. Because if they were awake and aware, they would have got up and walked up out of there and forced the clergyman or whoever at the door to move out the way. Like, what's he standing there holding you hostage for? Is this a hostage situation? Or is
mhm,
this house of God? It's a house of God. Then I can walk out whenever I damn well please. But
mhm,
since the pastor told you to sit down, oh, you gotta sit down. So none of those people, you can't look for none of those people for some revolution or some real life work. They're not about that. They're all sheep in there. So you gotta count them out.
mhm.
Those are the people that if we was in the palace, we already know where they're gonna be at. They're gonna be on the stage with the bitches. That's where they're gonna be. So we're not worried about them. We already know where they at, so we already count them out. There's no nothing I could get from you. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
You gone. You long gone already.
And for you first time listeners, the palace is an inside joke. Me and my bro got into a brawl back in college. The place was called the Palace, and we had to
Handle what we had to handle. This is when
yeah,
you learn who you was that night.
yeah, you know what I'm saying. So, um, but it's interesting because I remember as a younger man, in my early 20s, I was going through a whole lot of spiritual struggles, and I found myself at church. And I went to a particular church and I really got inspired by the pastor there. And not just the pastor there, that particular pastor, but the deacons and the men in the church just seemed like they was like about the community. They seemed like they was about the family. So I have nothing bad to say about that church in particular. So I would say that can't be the only church that's doing the Lord's work in the community, actually being about that community. That particular church helped build community centers, helped build uh, homes and apartments for people to move into. They did a lot of great work, a lot of great work. Shout out to St. Paul Baptist Church in Brooklyn, New York. Um, so, and then there's quite a few churches too, that I've been to that you could see that's about the work. But the churches that are not about it, it really gives a negative stink to all the other churches that's actually doing the work. And by and large, people who don't attend church already think that, yo, they are on some book automatically. So when you see this in particular with all context in front of you, you like, man, that's about some bull. Because yeah, we go to this church. Yes, you want to put in on the church. Yes, but we not end all be all when it comes to the church funds and the church bills. Simple and plain. Why the church is a organization that doesn't have to pay taxes. Y'all never got no money, but y'all getting money every day, not every week, every day. Church services cost. Everything costs, even if you're a member at that church. There's no freebies around here. So it leaves the negative stink. It doesn't look good. I say that for sure. It does not look good. It looks terrible. And I'm just saying, what are you going to do? His math was crazy. 1,000 people, $20. Let's keep it real. Some people was in there probably giving $100, $500, so they probably got way more than the 40K that he was trying to require. So
It's all a mind fuck because the next person gonna be like, oh, this nigga gave a little bit more, I'm gonna give a little bit more. It's
mhm,
all scams. I already knew church was a scam since the fifth grade. You know what I'm saying? And I was
mhm,
part of the scam. I
mhm.
was an altar server. So when I was an altar server, I remember one time my pastor called me. He needed me to come be an altar server. This was on Saturday. I'm like, damn, I'm missing my Saturday morning cartoons. What the hell? There's no replay back then. So you
Yeah,
miss Saturday morning. That's it. You cook.
right.
So
Yeah,
it's 9 o'clock in the morning. I miss all my cartoons. So I go to church. I'm like, what the hell he want? So I go there to church. I had to I didn't know it was a funeral service. So bang, did the funeral service. At the end of the funeral service, when the family was leaving, one of the family members passed me an envelope. And I'm like, what the hell? And I give a side eye to the pastor. The pastor look at me like, don't say shit. I mean, with his eyes. That's what he said.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
was
yeah,
like, all right. So I
yeah.
put the envelope in my back pocket. So now I go in the back. When I look in the envelope, it's $50 in there. And I'm like, what the hell? What's this for? I'm in fifth grade back in '95 with $50. You know what I'm saying? What the hell am I gonna do with $50? But I told that pastor right then and there, I'm like, yo, listen, any funerals, you call me first. You know what I'm saying? Call me first. So lo and behold, by seventh grade, I was the flyest nigga in all my Catholic school. Cause remember, I'm in Catholic school, so we only wear uniforms. So when
Right.
dress down day came, I was fly. Cause
Yeah.
trust me, I had bread. You know what I'm saying? I was getting $50 a pop. know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, but it was a lot of people dying, and I was getting called every Saturday. So I'm telling you, I was getting $50 every weekend. And back then, bro, you buying toys, a couple of comic books, and I got mad bread left over. So, I was cool. You know what I'm saying? I had
Matt,
money for mad pizza. You know what I'm saying? I had shorties, let's go get some pizza. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was hooking it up all week. You know what I'm saying? They're like, yo, where you getting this money from? Chill, chill. Y'all asking too many questions. So I already knew what it was about. And
uh-huh.
came springtime, that's when I found out about the wedding season. Now, wedding season, I was getting $100 every every church, every ceremony. So by 8th grade, I was fly. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So I already knew church was about bread. And then come to think about it, throughout the whole year, the whole Catholic school was raping us. Because if you think about it, we giving money to the church every Sunday. The same church we giving money to, they create it was like bazaars and different events that we still pay for, right? They collecting all the bread for that. And then on top of that, during the school year, we'd have to sell candy and all that shit. Remember the candy bars they would make you sell for $1? It
Yeah.
goes, and back then we selling Snicker bars that's 25 cents in the store. We selling them for $1,
Mhm.
right? To win some bum ass, cheap ass prizes. Mind you, we don't never see where the money goes, right?
Right.
We doing this every year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, they out here raping. And then one time they told the congregation, "Oh, we need y'all to support and give money because we want to create and build an elevator for the elderly." I was like, "Oh, that's what's up."
Mm-hmm.
But then when I started thinking about it, I'm like, "Wait, hold up. Y'all niggas was finessing us all year. Where all that other money
Where
at?"
the brand go? Uh-huh.
And then back to your point is, if we part of the congregation, we part of where's my tax return money? So all the money we put in, where that get back? Since
Mm-hmm.
we members of the church.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we don't get to file with you, huh?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I ain't never rocked with the church since. And I've been knew that since 5th grade. I was just waiting for niggas to catch up. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So it's this situation in itself is not surprising. It is surprising that Marvin Sapp is caught up in this because he's such a public figure in the gospel world. So it's very interesting. All right, moving on to our next hot topic. A father takes his son wearing a dress to the prom. And of course, the women who are in the video is very supportive. They're crying and saying, look at him being a great dad. What do you think about this?
It's a sad day for men everywhere. It was a sad day for men when he did that goofiness. Damn walking up to the
Driveway.
driveway and all that goofy shit. When the first conversation happened and you said, yes, I want to be a part of that, it was already over after that. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we talking about? He's a great dad for what? Like, championing that? Like, that's crazy. There's never a time when masculinity for anybody else's culture is questioned.
Hmm.
But when it comes to our masculinity, oh, we have to accept all this buffale. Why? Why we gotta accept it?
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Why is it that you want us to accept something that you know is unacceptable?
Hmm.
We all know it's unacceptable, but yet somehow we have to glance over it because it's melanin. Like, nah, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Like, the shit is wrong on all levels culturally for every culture. A man in a dress is an abomination. I don't care. Like, you're not supposed to do it, but you want me to what? Accept this for what? Why? Why should I accept it? I'm not going to, and you never gonna make me do it. You know what I'm saying? I was never raised in that. My culture never accepted that. So I'm never gonna accept that to the day I pass. So, you know what I'm saying? Until
Hmm.
then, I'm never rocking with this. I don't care what nobody tell me. I don't care how you feel. I live in America, so I have my right to feel how I feel. And that is something I would never rock with. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just not cool at all. Like, and then we want to champion that. Like, that's just sick.
For me, I think people are going to take the stance about gay versus not gay, right? Because he's wearing a dress. If you're gay, you're gay. Your sexual preference is your sexual preference. Me personally, I don't hate anybody who's homosexual.
Why couldn't he be in a suit and just be, I mean, who he is? What was the point of the dress? You know what I'm saying?
Right. So the point.
You having a relationship with another has nothing to do with nobody else, but it's just the excess, the overexertiveness of it. It's just the problem I have with it. Like,
Mhm,
there's other people who don't exert their beliefs on other people. They just live their life and expect you to be cool how he's cool or she's cool.
mhm.
But that person is not forcing their lifestyle on you and making you accept it. Like, nah, that's not how shit goes.
Because I don't want people to spin the narrative as if we're talking about somebody that's homosexual. This has nothing to do with that. Have nothing to do with the fact that this young kid is homosexual. We know that he's homosexual because he's wearing the dress. We know that. He's standing there with a fan. When have you seen a kid who's a heterosexual just standing there with a fan, and the way he's standing, his posture, the whole nine. My first immediate thought was exactly what you just said. Why he could not just wear a fire suit? Why? Why
The
he?
color scheme was, I'm pretty sure you could have came up with the same color scheme you had with that dress. You could have came up with the same color scheme for a suit. And I'm pretty sure you could have wore that same suit that Prince had in that episode on Dave Chappelle with the little, you know what I'm saying, with the little neck jump. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You would have been fly. But yeah, you want to go over the top, like, for what?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
And people want to specify, like, what's the big deal with a suit? The big deal with a suit at an event like that is the prom. It's classic. It's manly. And even though his orientation may be gay or homosexual, that doesn't mean he's still not a man. So you dress as such at a classy event, regardless of your sexual orientation. Whatever that he do, he do.
I'm gonna respect you as a man because you're a man. I expect you to respect me as a man. But if
Right.
you come in front of me and want that same respect, but you wearing a dress, it's gonna be kind of hard, blood. I'm sorry. It's gonna be kind of hard for me to respect you like that. You know what I'm saying?
And then the women around was championing this. Like, we gotta understand, like, and I said this shows ago, having a different opinion don't make somebody adversarial. It makes them aware. So if the rest of the world is saying, or at least the men in the community is saying, like, yo, what is this? What is this? The father looks uncomfortable being there, but I can't give the father no pass because when you're dad, you're dad. You put your foot down, and that's what it's going to be. Whether you for it or against it. If you're against it, you say, son, I love you. I'm going to support you from afar. I can't be a part of this. That's what that looks like. It really looked like that all the women that was around mentally, verbally beat him down to the point where he like, all right, well, I'm just pull up, whatever. I don't really want to do this, but I'm here for my son. At the end of the day, I love him. And if he feels supported by me being here, I'm going to support him. But the actions of the whole dress and the whole ordeal, y'all making it a bigger conversation and y'all put it out for public consumption. If this was really about a family moment, and I always say this, when something is really about a family moment, about this being a family and this, that, and the third, then it's not out for the world to see. It's not a million cameras at different angles of this one event when it's just for about the family. When it's something, if you don't want nobody to comment on it, then you want to put this out. So all the women felt comfortable and championing dad for being there, for taking his son to the prom. It's something that I personally can't get behind because it's just wrong. Why the young man could not dress in a suit? If he prefers to go with another young man, then okay, that's what he's gonna do. Okay, I get it. You don't need dad to take you. You just need dad to say, yo, if you get into trouble out there, call me. I'm pulling up. I got your back. I'm gonna hold it down for you. That's what holding it down looks like. Regardless of how many people that's watching or people in a rewatch or whatever, regardless of what they're going to say. That's what holding it down looks like. That's what real support looks like from dad. It's not about the orientation. It's about the presentation of what was going on going to the prom. When was the last time a father took, when was the last time a mother took her daughter to the prom? When is the last time a father took his daughter to the prom? Or a mother took her son to the prom? No. Get them some dates. Let them go with somebody their own age and whoever that they may like. When you go into the prom, that means that lets me know that you're at least a junior or senior. You kind of know what you like at that point. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. It is what it is. I love you regardless. I'm no matter what. You still mine. You still come from me. You got my blood running through your bones. I got you. But this was perpetuating a whole nother narrative that didn't need to be showed. Anything you want to add to that?
It's just a whole. It's just how they pushing this narrative. It's just always when it comes to us, there's always some angle they trying to push. Like there's never no straightforwardness about any of the stuff that we got going on. There's always some angle because none of this, like, okay, so how does it look going to the actual event? You know what I'm saying? How did what's the talk on the way there? You know what I'm saying? Like it just all this for clout is just sick, man.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
It
laughing
all
at the chat, y'all. The chat is funny, man. Roy Jack is crazy. But yeah, man, it just looked bad. And me personally, it didn't look right. It didn't look right. I wasn't feeling that at all. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic question. Have you ever wondered why the KKK have never been indicted or ever been hit with a RICO? Have you ever wondered that?
same reason why Sundown Town's never been outed or disbarred or taken off the law books. Yeah, they don't enforce it, but it's still on the law books. You know what I'm saying? They could easily be like, oh, it's a Sundown Town now because it's still on there. You know what I'm saying? So just take it off. But y'all don't do that. Same reason y'all don't indict the KKK for being a terrorist group. You know what I'm saying? It's
Mm-hmm.
y'all cousins. Like it's your uncle. You know what I'm saying? It's your pastor.
I was just about to say,
You know what
Pat,
I'm saying? It's the sergeant. You know what
right?
I'm saying?
Your second,
It's the mayor.
your second
You know
grade
what I'm
teacher.
saying? And a Humboldt County. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Biff Cliff, Montana. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Population 500, but you know what I'm saying? It's all K'd up. So that's why. And then on top of that, it's like it seems as though damn all that why nobody ain't bring it up. Why is it that these supposed black lawyers that want to go in there and change the system and do this and the third, they don't bring it up? Where's all the civil rights leaders and activists and lawyers? They don't bring it up.
Mm.
Why don't y'all bring it up? I'm not expecting other people to bring it up when it's affecting people, specifically a group that still can do something about it, but y'all don't bring it up. I find that highly weird. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Or are y'all playing part of the game?
Mm-hmm.
Because once you become part of the bar exam, you part of a system now. So you can't shake the boat. Or so it seems, man. It's been 60, 70 years. I don't understand. You niggas got all kind of freedom to do all types of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So we only get to see it in a movie with Denzel Washington when he do it. But
Mm-hmm.
in real life, it don't happen. So I only can go see it in a movie.
Mm-hmm.
We got all these lawyers. We got all these people in law school. Nobody ain't bring no class action lawsuit against the KKK. Nothing. It's a whole organization. I'm pretty sure they got copyrights and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody went after the corporation. Nobody thought about that. Yeah. So it's part of the game. It's part of the system. You know what I'm saying?
And it just popped up somewhere. I believe it was either Ohio or Atlanta where they popped up again and again. The sight of their president presence incites some sort of altercation, and it seems always, unless they're like, I don't see, like, put it like this: I don't see the KKK going anywhere near Brooklyn Queens, Harlem, parts in the Bronx, East Tremont. I mean, I sound
I don't see them in Baltimore. I don't see them in
Baltimore.
Philly. I don't see them in nah. I don't see them. I don't definitely know Baltimore. Definitely know DC because DC ready for everybody. You know what I'm saying? DC ready for us. You know what I'm saying?
You're
I don't
not
see them over there. So
yeah, certain parts of Cali. I don't think any part of Cali. I mean, it's certain parts of Cali they probably get away with an appearance, but the inner cities of California, obviously, Los Angeles in particular. I mean, the mere of their presence alone is to incite.
matter of fact, I don't never see them in Laredo, Texas. Where are they at in the border towns?
Mm,
I don't never see KK in the border towns.
mm,
Y'all want to prank America so bad. Why don't y'all go down to the border?
mm.
Which I ain't there though. No, all right.
But I know.
I think at this point there's so little few of them, but they had to create the scare tactic. That's why they got to come out a little bit.
Hmm.
There's not that many of them no more, but it's the fear of what happened in the past that keeps them relevant. So that's why they got to come out here and there. It's not as organized as they used to be. You know what I'm
But
saying?
but their mere presence it doesn't scare the establishment opposed to if you get the Bloods and the Crips walking down the street and it's about 100 of them. Oh, it's a problem. But if you get 100 KKK, they're just expressing how they feel. If you get 100 Black Panthers, which you alluded to prior to, it's going to be a whole issue. So I just find it weird that there was never any RICO case regarding the KKK, and I've always wondered that. Like, I've heard of the KKK going through like a gun battle. I believe in Idaho, of all places, Idaho, all places, and I've heard about that one time, and that's only because it was in a movie. They just dropped a movie recently that how the KKK went at it with the local police force there, and the police force wasn't having none of it and got him up out of there. At least that particular chapter. So I just always found that interesting because in light of the Big U situation and I believe the '60s Crips, that the RICO case, and then in other cities, such as states of New York, Georgia, Atlanta in particular. You have so many different areas where you have different type of cliques, gangs, and organizations that easily caught up in RICO situations with much weaker cases than what the KKK history has been to this country. So I just found that very interesting that they have never been indicted or there's never been a RICO case against them. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next segment, y'all. This segment is brought to you by Bravo Section. Make sure you go to bigbravosection.com. Again, bigbravosection.com. You can book a session with one of the best photographers in the world. If you're in the Miami area, if you're not, you can still book that session. They'll come out, take care of your session. You can buy dope photography and again book a session with one of the best photographers in the world. It all starts at bigbravosection.com. You have a petty word for us, petty law.
Chat, you know this section is more on the words that we use every day and also want to find the legal definition of these words. Because having the legal definition of these words at more so than the regular definition is, I feel, more detrimental and more important to us than regular was it Webster's dictionary version. So we definitely need all the legal definition of words that we use every day. So I pick words by random. So these are just random words off the Black's Law Dictionary. Um, Rowan Jack, I got your word for next week, for next episode. So the first word on this list is aboriginal title. Such title provides original natives of the United States exclusive rights to occupy lands and waters used by them and their ancestors before the United States asserted sovereignty over such areas. Aboriginal title. The United States is so crazy where they have the audacity to steal land from my ancestors, then turn around and create a title and then give them title to lands that was already theirs in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Like the games that they play is just crazy at this point. You know what I'm saying? It's just wow. Next word on the list is bribe. Any money, good, right? Any money, goods, right in action, property, thing of value, or anything performant at advantage, privileges, or a moment, or any promises or undertaking to give any asked or given or accepted with a corrupt intent to induce or influence action, vote, or opinion of a person in any public or official capacity. Bribe. So anybody you try to bribe them with any type of money with a certain corrupt capacity, then you now have compromised somebody's position, somebody's seat, or somebody's whole social status. Right. Next word on the list is extortion. So the obtaining of property from another by another induced by wrongful use of actual or threatened force, violence or fear, or under the color of official right. Extortion. Seems like what our ancestors went through when motherfuckers came over here and started extorting us for our shit. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Last on the list is falsify. So it's falsifies to counterfeit or forge, to make something false, to give false appearance to anything, to make false by sorry, I can't even say the word. I'm gonna skip that word. Alteration or addition, to tamper with, as to falsify a record or document. The word falsify may be used to convey two distinct meanings, either that of being intentionally or knowing untrue, or made with the intent to defraud. So you can falsify evidence unintentionally by somebody giving you wrong information, or you can falsify with the intent to defraud, knowing that you was going to put this information in, knowing that you don't have a business, but you found PPP loans with saying you had a business and you had the intent to defraud the government. So,
Yeah.
all right. So our words this week were Aboriginal title, bribe, extortion, and falsified.
Fire, fire, fire. Yo, again, make sure y'all send my bro some words so you look it up for the next episode. That extortion, man, is crazy. And the crazy thing about the land is they don't even give the full title to those lands. You know what I'm saying? They like, yeah, his, because they didn't ask for it. If you don't
You gotta
ask
get
for it to you.
you gotta get a lodio title.
Facts.
If you get
What
a lodio title, that's the supreme. But it's just the mere fact that I have to get something that belongs to me in the first place is part of the scummy aspect of the U.S. You know what I'm saying?
and you have to ask for it. Have to ask for it. When I went to Staples the other day, you know what I'm saying? They try to get me, I'm trying to get, a couple folders of about like $35. I said, y'all do price match, right? He was like, yeah, what you got? And mine came out to $7.99. They looked at me, you bastard. I was like, yeah, if I didn't ask for it, y'all would have charged me the $34.99. Well, because I got my price match, $7.99, baby, store policy. So if you don't ask, they won't say. All right. Shout out Roman Jack. He said, you would think Obama would have done something about it. Going back to the KKK comment, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, he was too busy letting other sweet stuff slide. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. I mean, Obama.
That president was not for nobody of melanin descent.
Right.
He did nothing for melanin people.
The one
Nothing.
thing I can't say about the former president, about Barack Obama, he was about the foreign policy. If you was a threat, he got you up out of here. I will say that. But when it came to doing things for the culture, yeah, nah, definitely not. Definitely not. Fire though. Rowan Jack again, thank you again. He just gifted some more people, some memberships, some thank yous are in order, y'all. So again, shout out to Archie Stewart. Shout out to Anthony. And shout out to Vic, man. Vic, thank you for tapping in. We appreciate you. Another badge holder. Get your badges, man. Different access, different badges. Get your badges. Some dope things coming with the badges. And again, if you send me your emails or email us, you'll get a fire Can the Brothers Get a Rap podcast sticker. So make sure you send the emails and we'll send it to you to your address with some other, cool stuff that we got brewing. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next segment, our Keep the Lie Live segment.
Keep the lie alive.
Keep the Lie Live. So my Keep the Lie Live for this episode is: it's not always worth it to clear your name. Growing up as a kid, when I saw wrong, I had to always call on it. So I never understood when I seen adults and then I seen famous people when the story wasn't accurate or I felt like wasn't accurate, why they never come out and say anything? How come, if this is if this is not true, why they just won't come out and say, yo, it's not true? And for years that sat with me growing up, but becoming a man, I still felt the same way. I was like, yo, why do people don't say anything when things are inaccurate? When things are said about them, wouldn't it matter to clear your name? And as a grown ass man now, I get it. It's not worth it. No matter what you do, no matter what you say, people always going to think whatever anyway. No matter what. And that goes for everybody. Not just one group of people, not for a subculture. That goes for everybody. No matter what you do, if somebody says a lie about you, and if it's interesting enough, people are going to believe it regardless. Even those same people know it's not true. So I had a real revelation that it's not important to always clear your name because sometimes things are so ridiculously wrong that it's not even worth your energy. It's not worth your time. Most of the time, when you sit in bad energy, you're going to give bad energy. You ever realize like you're in a really great mood and somebody just comes in with that dark cloud that just kills your whole energy. And it don't even have to be somebody you know. It could be a complete stranger, but you could feel the energy. You could see the cloud over them. Like, damn, they wearing that negative energy like a bad suit. With that being said, it don't matter what you do. Oh, he come out and he trying to clear it up. Yeah, I still believe that he still did that. The, the fact that he's even talking about it, I believe that it is what it is. The fact that he's talking about it confidently, I still believe it. The fact that he's talking about it nonchalantly, no matter what you say, how you say it, people are going to think whatever that they want to think. In certain instances, it's always a smart idea to clear your name. Anything that deals with criminology to children, you clear your name. Anything with an adult, it's not worth your time and energy, especially all the time. Because again, once you sit in that negative energy, once you address it, you're giving the person power that you had to address it. And your best power is not to give people power. So my keep the lie alive for this episode is understanding that addressing negative energy is not always beneficial to clear your name, because your name is always going to be good. Once you do good things and be good with people, your name is good. No matter what someone or a group of people may have to say, it doesn't matter. Point taken. There's nothing that nobody could tell me about this man right here that would change my idea of who he is. No matter what. Whether it's something that I know or I don't know. I know this dude. 21 years. Known him for a long time. I know what he wouldn't do and wouldn't do in certain situations. Is he gonna rob you? Nah. Now he might bust out laughing at a funeral. He might do that. But it depends on the joke. And it depends on the person that he at to see. He might do that. Or after the funeral, he might have a couple of jokes to lighten the mood. He just might do that. Is that a bad trait? No. That's a part of his personality. Not liking.
Laugh sometime. Might as well laugh that day. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's a part of his
Cry later. We gonna laugh right now.
You feel me? That's a part of his personality, not wanting to see people in a sad space. At least not for too long. So there's nothing.
I'm around. You could be sad when I leave. When I'm around now, we cracking jokes.
But that
I
again,
don't want none of that sad shit.
right. You know what I'm saying? So again, there's nothing that nobody could tell me about him, whether it's good or bad, whether it's indifferent or whether it's the same, that could change my point of view about him. Doesn't need to be addressed. What's understood doesn't need to be spoken about. So it's not always beneficial to clear your name, especially people that's for you. Anybody that don't know you could believe any type of foolishness that anybody can say about you. Anybody. I've seen it. I've experienced it. I've had people come up to me at my father's funeral telling me, "Bro, dude, you a real cool dude. I thought you was the devil moving." From based on the stories I heard, you seem like a cool brother. Don't get it twisted. I'll put my foot in your ass, but I come with respect. So regardless of what people may have to say, good, especially bad, is not worth addressing. It's not worth giving your energy. It's not worth giving your power to address them. Not always. Anything you want to add to that, bro?
It's definitely picking and choosing your battles, because a lot of the stuff is it, it, a lot of the stuff don't need to be addressed, because it's like when you already know the truth, it's like can nobody like trick you out your position. You know what I'm saying? Because you already know the truth. So all they trying to do now is try to trick you out your position. So you already know what they're trying to do. So there's no need to even address half the stuff that they say. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, it's no point. I have the truth. I have evidence. I've read the manuals. I read this. I read that. So you can't tell me because what I've read that you didn't read all of a sudden is wrong. Like, nah. What do you mean? Like, so
Right.
the knowledge I read is wrong because I read it?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it the book I read it from? Which one is it?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because as an adult, we know how to read. So if I know how to read something, I comprehend it properly, and I understand the knowledge, and then I pass you the knowledge, and then you tell me you don't believe it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, then it's like there's no word, there's nothing else to say after that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You go your way, and I'm gonna go my way. At that point, there's no need to address it. There's no need to try to fight it or get my point across, because you're never gonna get your point across over a person with that type of mentality. You know what I'm saying? Because they're gonna automatically believe you're wrong, and they're gonna believe they're right, even if the truth is facing them right in front of their face. That type of person, you gotta stay clear from, because
Mm-hmm.
there's no saving.
Mm-hmm.
There's no saving that person. They
Mm-hmm.
could read the same information you got, and they're gonna pull something totally different from it. There's no saving that type of person. So
Mm-hmm.
you just gotta keep it moving. Only when somebody's trying to bribe you, hit you with some extortion, falsify your name, now you gotta come out and be like, hey, nah, this, that, and the third. If it comes to legal action, then
Mm-hmm.
you take it there. But
Mm-hmm.
if it's just some other stuff that a person in the same position as you that can get the same knowledge that you can, and they still trying to argue and tell you that you're wrong, you just walk away from that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He the same, he's Cypher from the Matrix. You know what I'm saying? He the nigga that just want to go back to the Matrix and eat fake steak. You know what I'm saying?
Knowing that it's fake steak.
Knowing that it's fake steak. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing you could do with that. You
Mm-hmm.
gotta let him go back to the Matrix and eat fake steak while I over here eat, you know what I'm saying? The real joint. Let him go over there and eat the impossible burger. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, there's no saving them. We see these characters all the time. There's no saving them. I'm not Superman. I'm not saving you, bro. Nah.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you already want to go with the dumb shit. Then go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
You on your own. You know what I'm saying? Remember, Martin had to start from scratch. So you might as well go over there. That's where scratch is, over there. We at the finish line over here. We gonna stay right here because we already know what start from scratch is.
And don't
we
try
not doing that.
and don't try to finesse, because if you wear corrective lenses, you gotta start from scratch again.
Because you ain't had the lenses before. So where'd you get the lenses from?
When
You
you
know
get
what
the
I'm saying?
lens, so
How you get 20/20 vision and you have 14/20 before when you first got here?
mm-hmm.
Where the switch at? You know what I'm saying? Don't pull a finesse. Don't try to, you know what I'm saying? Don't try to do that. So it is what it is.
And to further cement this, I have an aggressive personality. I'm an aggressive individual. When I was younger, growing up in sports and in the neighborhood, anytime I had a disagreement with somebody, I would try to prove my point. And it was so argumentative. So I developed a habit learning how to listen only enough to respond. I had to break myself out of that mode as I got older, because when you listen to respond, it's out of emotion. When you listen and let it sit, you do it based out of logic. And when you realize to go back and forth with somebody is it's a bit out of insanity, because you're trying to prove something to somebody that that's not comprehending. Another word that I used in the past episodes, that we have to do a better job in comprehending. And most time when people comprehend what's going on in the moment, on the move, there's always better results. Most times people crash out, whether it's a shouting match, a back and forth match, they crash out because they're not comprehending what's going on. So to go back and forth with that, I remember being in my teen, just all through my childhood, even in my 20s, like trying to argue some shit. Now I say it. It's enough that I said it. I don't even have to prove it. It is what it is. I don't have to do nothing else. I already said it. So learning that mentality and learning not to respond and addressing your truth. Your truth is not for everybody anyway. Not always. So that's why I keep the lie alive. You don't have to always respond and clear your name. Y'all, I want to thank y'all for tapping in. Y'all been amazing, as always. Can the Brothers Get a Rap podcast? We're on every Sunday, every Thursday at 10:30 p.m. The show continues to grow. We got so many badge holders. Continue. We don't got enough badge holders. We don't got enough. Don't make me do like the Reverend Sack and close the doors. Now I'm playing. But again, I want to thank y'all for continuing to supporting the show. If this is your first time watching, we'd love to have you back. Again, we got dope content. We talk about everything over here. And we show love to everybody. But we also call out things as well, too. Again, I want to shout out Bravo Section, Button Snaps, and OUV Records for being sponsors of the show. If you're interested in being one of the sponsors of the show, you can hit me on Instagram at Ashley Lovechild, or you can hit my bro on his Instagram at
Bravo Section _.
So if you're interested in becoming one of the sponsors of the show, hit us up on Instagram. Also, make sure you tap into the Overstand podcast. While Understand, we go Overstand every Monday at 9:30 on this channel. This podcast alone has over 350 rewatch videos of this podcast on this channel. as well as short videos as well too. So make sure y'all continue to like, subscribe, share, comment on the rewatches as well. Great conversational starters for your friends, families, loved ones, your girl, your guys, for the women that watch. So make sure y'all continue to support the show. Tap into the membership portion of the show as well. Different membership, different access. Again, the show continues to grow. We're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. So again, continue to share. Again, thank you for Button Snaps, Button hyphenated sign snaps.com for being the presenting sponsor of this show. Man, y'all been amazing as always. I feel like I'm missing something. Oh. Working on some new music in the mean between time. Look up Ashley Lovechild on any music platform. I got some fire music, so make sure y'all tapping to those vibrations. I know my brother got his website he want to shoot.
Working on some new merchandise. So I'm going into a new venture in this merchandise wave. So I wanted to be good for y'all. So I'm taking my time with it. Got some new stuff coming out. But in the meantime, between time, you gotta show love to my boy Rowan Jack for gifting all those members. Gotta show love to Rowan Jack. You know what I'm saying? Shout him out. You know what I'm saying? Shout him out, shout him out, shout him out. So right now we're working on some things. Rowan Jack, I got you in mind. Don't even worry about it. We're gonna have him send him the turkey shirts on the way. You know what I'm saying? Working on it, boy.
Fire again, Rowan Jack. You've been amazing. Thank everybody for tapping in as well. And some thank yous are in order. Rowan Jack, again, he gifted some more people some more membership. So again, thank you. Y'all, again, we're on every Thursday, every Sunday at 10:30. So make sure you tap in and bring a friend with you next time. Y'all already know, man. It's love. And we'll see y'all this Sunday at 10:30. We out.
We out.